Hytale has released 11 new in-game screenshots in a huge blog post that dropped last week. So far, we've broken down the combat and gameplay clips, but now let's see what new mobs, Easter eggs, and secret features lie in wait for us when we finally get our hands on Hytale. Welcome back to Kweebec Corner. My name is Connor, and let's get into this month's Hytale news updates. In this video, we'll be touching on the images we received from the big summer blog post and development update. The intro image, which was tweeted and used as a header, features a regular player traveling forth into the world of Orbis. There's fireflies floating by some swampy areas, and the player carries a backpack and torch, likely the two necessities for travel in this game once night falls. We begin to see peaks of Zone 2 in the background, but other than that, there's not much to see. The second image, however, is one of my favorites. Can you tell why? This image shows a Kweebec elder holding a carrot within some sort of farmyard. There's more carrots growing in the dirt, a coop, and two rabbits or jackalopes, the ones with horns, one younger and one older. The Kweebec elder seems to be feeding or helping to tend to these creatures, which shows us even more evidence of factions having advanced AI, being able to interact with other things in the game just like we, the players, can. We've seen quite a number of times now that Kweebecs have their own little crop patches, and they even keep rabbits as pets, which has been alluded to multiple times now. The actual name of this image when you copy the URL is Nurturers, so I think it's safe to say our assumptions are right with this one. Next up is a shot from Zone 3, the wintry region of Borea. It features a tower similar to the building we saw in this clip back last year. The structure is surrounded by tall pine trees with dark brick. You can see the half-slab layers going up the sides of the tower itself. The hanging blue lanterns, ominously over-iced rooftop, and abandoned decking suggest to me that this is a prefab, either completely abandoned or inhabited by the undead or native hostile faction of Outlanders. Another indicator to this being a ruined prefab is the broken window right up the top. Besides this, we see some barrels, pots, a blue crystal, and even a chest hidden above. Now, before we get into the fourth image, around a year ago, I released my feature-length Minecraft documentary. Turns out it did pretty well, and if you were around back then, you'll remember that it was sponsored by the free-to-play gaming platform Core. Well, they've come a long way since then, and guess what? So have we. So they've decided to sponsor another video. Powered by Unreal Engine, Core now has over 20,000 unique games, many made by players just like yourself across a humongous variety of genres. Core recently even partnered with Epic Games to launch in early access exclusively on the Epic Games Store. Downloading Core with your Epic Games account will even provide you exclusive character cosmetics. There's so many titles to choose from. Just recently, I was playing Death Run, a game where one or two hunters are chosen to trigger traps to kill the others before they reach the end. Essentially, it's like one big game of cat and mouse, but in an obstacle course. Marble Tycoon was also really addictive. It sees you collect and sell colorful marbles as you upgrade your factory conveyor belt and build up a base. Both are totally worth checking out, and Core really has been growing. They've just partnered with Deadmau5 for their current Dystopian Worlds contest with a $50,000 prize pool. And yes, you heard that right, Deadmau5. Join Core now and use Core's game creation tools to make a scene of a dystopian future for this collab jam, and the best submissions will be featured in Deadmau5's upcoming music video for his next single, When the Summer Dies. There's also a bunch of other premium prizes, such as a VIP lifetime guest list pass for all Deadmau5 events, an invitation to a meet and greet at a future show, and a whole array of autographed merchandise and other cash prizes, so go get creating. It's completely free. Entries close on July 26th, and if that's not your thing, then the Core Invitational Game Jam is now accepting budding developers. 50 lucky applicants will be chosen to compete between August 12th and September 13th to create the best game they possibly can to be in with a chance of winning $140,000 in prizes, including a Tesla Model 3. Yes, I'm not joking. The closing date for applications is August 1st, so for more info on that contest or to download Core for free, visit my link in the description. Thanks to Core for the support. Back to Hytale. Now, touching back down on the images, we have a bison on the outskirts of the Zone 3 tundra. In the distance seems to be that same tower that we just saw, but besides that are some rather unusual large remains. These giant bones are something that we've previously only really seen in Zone 2, and I really do wonder what these creatures were, and this bison is probably thinking the same. Going back to Zone 2 now for a lovely sunset, we see a recognizable team member, Propsy, with his signature hat, taking refuge in a small enclave. We can see his location is fortified, a few halfway slabs, and even some wooden spikes. I wonder if these actually defend against mobs, or maybe even scare them off. We can see a horse walking by with a dashing mane, and a ruined prefab off in the distance is silhouetted by the sun. Some of the details here are the patterned pot or block, small tent, and stool, as well as Propsy's rainbow scarf. Back to the Emerald Grove or Zone 1 for a nice overhead shot of a Kweebec forest settlement. This is another one of my favorites and just one of many awesome aerial shots you could imagine capturing just by flying around and observing this living, breathing fantasy world. Starting from the bottom left, we see a chicken or rabbit pen similar to the one we saw earlier. There's some growing crops and a large tree is decorated with lanterns. A warm light extends from a wooden doorway. We know Kweebecs live within these carved out trees. While we can't see inside, moving further up we can see a green baby Kweebec gazing out at the forest. Further up the stairway is a more mature ranger Kweebec with their classic spear and helmets, and right at the peak of the tree is something really cool. The way these branches curl at the end is pretty fantastical. Two more rangers stand guard. This is likely a lookout platform of some kind, and there's even a glowing plant that we've seen a few times before and some tables. We actually get a better look at what these are when we hop across the treetops to the next defense tower. More rangers are looking out, and a chest is neatly placed there too, along with what looks to be some stone slabs. Going right back down to the ground floor again, we see a bucket and logs acting as a table, surrounded by stools. Quite cute if you ask me. There's even a potted sunflower growing on display, and considering the Kweebecs also love the sun a lot, these guys are probably best friends. The rocks are covered with steadily growing moss. I wonder if that actually spreads on its own, or if it was more designed that way. You'll also notice the pathway of these places. These Kweebec settlements are even made up of halfway slabs. I find it interesting that these slabs can naturally generate, especially in locations like this, where subtle level differences can have a huge impact on aesthetic. It stops everything feeling so flat. We see another Kweebec villager running by some more beams, berry bushes, and benches. Just ahead of him also appears to be a set of wooden platforms leading up into more structures that I can't really make out. There's another hidden chest here in the trees, and some more rangers at ground level in the center of the image that you can see, with some more platforms acting as a bridge over here. Quite a nice image if you ask me, but let's move on. Staying in Zone 1, we get more on the character customization of Hytale with 3 unique species or variety of avatar on display. Of course, there are native species to the realm of Orbis, but we were told in this blog post that the player will act more as an ethereal vessel from another world, practically able to choose from any form or combination of all the creatures on Orbis. These 3 characters here may be completely randomized, or they may be more representative of the cornerstone identities an avatar can have, from a classic human look to a druid-like elf, and even a maniacal-looking horned demon. Kinda gives me Hellboy vibes. I love that long black coat that extends beyond the body portion. The elf avatar with a necklace and long green robes is certainly a more natural look, but one that I would probably prefer to play as. Moving on, we get an image similar to the very first one we covered in this video. It's of the player in the white cloth moving towards Zone 2. This image is once again more simplistic. There aren't a lot of major details to take in here, and is more aiming to showcase the terrain and biome transitions, the atmosphere of the world. We can see the player is walking towards the layered canyons of the Howling Sands, and as is described in the image's URL, which says Desert Approach. The player may have even had the foresight to dress specifically for this occasion, lighter clothing and no heavy armor to weigh them down. Definitely an image to just look at and mull over. Now, among the 3 combat videos that I broke down last week, we also got this interesting image. Buddha, the community coordinator, fighting an opposing mystery avatar. Buddha actually later confirmed to me on Discord that the other guy was Scooter. They're on some form of rocky ruin or castle top, both heavily armored, Scooter with a mace and Buddha with what I believe to be a dagger. While we can't grasp too much about what's happening from their battle, the background is what interests me the most. Look at those thin rocky structures, the spiky peaks. It's all a lot slimmer than the prefabs and castles we've seen before, giving it an almost skeleton-like feel. It's definitely a dangerous place. And looking beyond that, where is this location? Blurred in the background seems to be some huge mass. Is it a building, a castle? The colors are very unusual and hard to place. Could this even be Zone 5 or 6? Well, luckily Buddha also confirmed when I asked that this map was a custom build, so perhaps more something you'd see on a server, rather than in adventure mode. Following this, we see a player once again deep within some goblin caves. It seems these guys are going to be riddled across the surface mines of early biomes. The avatar has a mixture of armor, some leather, steel, and even cobalt, leading the way with a torch as he strides towards a wooden plank bridge. We even see some wooden stools and a table as well as some beams, which means the goblins may be a little more civilized than we thought. Either that or they've just completely taken over a human mine. Beyond that, however, this goblin holding an explosive seems to want our attention. Maybe he's pointing out this cool feature. We get a look at how minecart tracks will work, more specifically how they can connect. It seems from this image that you can have four-way connections. Not much else to see here, but I think that's pretty cool to think about. There's also some neat blue lighting spilling in from the back, just another example of the hue and lighting systems that they have in place. And for this image, we're on the coast of Orbis, looking out at a beautiful sea. Some crabs are dancing in the background, but we also get a brand new mob reveal in the form of, you guessed it, a reptile. A gecko, to be specific. For those of you not aware, I've been hounding the devs on Twitter for at least a year now asking for a chameleon mob in the game, or at least a reptile, so this is pretty close. Geckos are actually very adaptable and can be found on all real-world continents besides Antarctica. The reason I mention this is because sometimes they're found in rainforests, and by the look of the wood on this tree next to the gecko, it seems like behind the camera could be a large jungle biome of some sort. Further into the horizon, we see a ruined prefab ready to explore, and one even further in the distance. Additionally, we get some of these skeletal remains once again. What were these giants? They've been featured quite prominently in this blog post, appearing in 2 of the 11 images, and the team haven't been shy to showcase these bones in previous posts either. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, if you don't follow me on Twitter, then you're likely unaware that recently I got a new job. It's a super serious one, managing a set of other YouTube channels, so I've not actually had much time to edit or record anything for a few weeks. I promise you guys, it's not because of the news we had, otherwise I wouldn't have made this video. Rest assured, plenty of content is incoming on this channel, and your feedback is always appreciated. You can join the Discord to chat more with the community. Reminder to check out Core and the big competition for free in the video description and pinned comment. Continue smiling, thank you for liking, subscribing, and thanks as always for watching Kweebec Corner. Stay safe and keep free.